Let me just bring up gold. In fact, I'm just hearing that Manappuram is now at a record high. Remember, gold is at as an all-time high. Let's just pull up Manappuram and take a look. And Muthoot also is just about to hit. Remember, these are gold financiers, and they've anyway been climbing along with that move in gold prices. They can, of course, continue to give out more loans given the kind of collateral value that's increased here. There you have it on your screen. Muthoot, 1.7, 1.8% higher, almost at a record. And Manappuram, I'll just bring it up for you as well, once again. And again, a record high coming in there. Great news for some of these counters. Amit, what's your take, and what would you advise right now in terms of a strategy when it comes to the gold financiers?
Well, we like them all through, but the valuations have re-rated very significantly. Muthoot was our preferred picks when the stock was sub 1,000, and our take was driven by the quality of the book, their underwriting standards, and of course the tailwinds on the gold pricing. That has largely played out. They are not cheap any longer, but I think the sentiment is going to be driven by the price behavior of gold. So therefore, I would probably refrain from giving short-term calls. But structurally, I think gold financing remains very, very well poised, and Muthoot is one of the better franchises that we prefer.
All right, great. So that's the view coming in on Muthoot. We're keeping our eye on some of those precious commodities today, given the kind of levels we're seeing gold and even silver trading at. So keep an eye there. Let me also move on to some of the other newsmakers. We've got Indus Tower. A few brokerages have given in reports on that one. CLSA says high conviction, outperform rating on an Indus. They've got their target a little bit, but they're very positive on the stock. And Citi has also maintained a buy coming in there. On Indus Tower, Amit, would you have a view or a comment as to why it's looking so positive?
Yeah, I think the underlying metric remains pretty favorable. You're seeing a much more visibility, stronger visibility in the business. So we liked it all through. Of course, the valuations are now much more elevated versus the previous regime wherein we thought the valuations were pretty attractive. So I would not call it it's a negative view, but I would probably be slightly more cautious and buy it probably at the lower levels. But we are structurally positive on the overall balance sheet for the overall franchise.
All right. Just before I move ahead, Hindustan Zinc, I just want to pull that one up as well. That's the top F&O gainer today, and clearly we are seeing silver at a record high as well. Like I said, keep your eye on those precious metals. A lot of action happening there. Now it's up for the third day in a row now, Hindustan Zinc. Let me pull that up for you. 1.76%, but 448 is where it's trading at. Pull up how it's moved for the week as well, and you'll get a sense of the kind of moves that we're seeing in that counter. It's looking fantastic right now. Again, Amit, I got to get your quick call on Hindustan Zinc. Where it's at in terms of valuation, 6% up just in a week.
Well, yeah, it underperformed. I mean, it's been one of our preferred picks exactly on this hypothesis that the percentage contribution on EBITDA from the silver segment is going to be very meaningful, and it is going to drive valuations. It did not work out, but fortunately, it seems to be working out right now. But I think our broader take is that the core business is also going to perform much better over the next 12 to 18 months. And given the dividend yield being very supportive, we like this name, but hopefully it should perform better from here onwards, is what I would say.
Okay, all right. Let's also bring in some international news or the latest on the tariff front. Donald Trump has again fired the tariff artillery at India, making it clear that he's not lowering tariffs anytime soon. However, India is also sticking to its line that talks with the US are continuing, with Commerce and Industries Minister hinting at a deal by November.
For many years, it was a one-sided relationship. Only now, since I came along, and because of the power that we have with tariffs, India was charging us tremendous tariffs, about the highest in the world. We, therefore, weren't doing much business with India, but they were doing business with us because we weren't charging them. Foolishly, we weren't charging them. So they would send in massive, everything they made, they'd send it in, pour it into our country. Therefore, it wouldn't be made here, which is a negative. But we would not send in anything because they were charging us 100% tariffs.
In every sense, one can see an excitement across the world to expand trading and business relations with India. We've had a little bit of a geopolitical issues overtaking trade issues in our negotiations with the United States of America. I do hope things will get back to track soon and we'll conclude a bilateral trade agreement by fall, November or so. as was discussed by our two leaders in February. We recognize that there is tremendous global turbulence.
All right, continuing to stay on top of all the developing news when it comes to the tariff war. But Amit, before we let you go this morning, the top two things you're going to be watching out for in trade today.
Well, I think it's the expectations on how the narrative works out on the global market because Trump treatments, how they're absorbed. And second, of course, the buzz that we hear from the GST meeting, GST Council meeting. I think that the market will react to if there's any buzz which comes along, how the negotiations go on.
All right. So